begin.
Welcome to the Wise Take DFS podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I am joined once again by one of Wise Take's finest DFS analysts, Mr. Johnny the Greek, better known across the nation as Johnny the Freak. You can find him on Twitter at GDaddy80. Johnny, my man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's Tuesday, so it's the day I find some weird home run. So hopefully I can get you guys one today. And doing good today. Good action day in basketball. This is a baseball show, but Angels are sucking right now, and if they can do some work for us, I think we both have a pretty good night here. So other than that, man, it's good. Cash games are good, and looking good in basketball too. So so far so good, my friend.
I like to hear it, man. I like to hear positive things, man. I like to hear positive things. I try to be a positive person.
Absolutely. After winning the donkey last night with 2,135 of my friends, it'd be nice to win one without anybody else tying with me. So it'd be great.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah, the showdown slate is what Johnny's referring to. He took first in the showdown GPP, which the first place prize was supposed to be $100,000, but he tied with like 2,000. So there was no other basketball slates, so everybody had the same lineup. And he tied with like 2,000 other people. Ended up still made a couple hundred, but I'm sure obviously he was pretty close. I think you had another lineup where if that one was the one that got first, you would have won the whole 100, right?
Yeah, it was second but it was 2,000. Sorry, I tied with 2,134, and that lineup was 2,135. It was literally the next lineup, and nobody else was behind it. So it would have taken all the money down, and it only missed by a point. So it was pretty close.
Point away from $100K.
Yeah.
Now that is a kick in the nuts.
And that lineup paid out $20.
Got $20 instead. All right, fair trade, and I guess not exactly. But anyway, guys, we are going to we're going to cover the main slate here. There is an early slate. Johnny and I will be writing articles. Johnny obviously will write the cash game article tomorrow for Wise Take subscribers. For the early slate, I will cover the GPP end. We'll have an expert poll, all that good stuff. But for this podcast, we are just going to cover the main slate, give us a little break. 8 games is a lot better than 13. We've had a lot of these massive slates. And we also have golf coming up tonight, so we got to kind of get through this. The Golf Wise stream is tonight with Cash and DFS and Paulie D. So if you haven't already gotten your golf package and you plan on playing some golf, I don't know what you're waiting for. I know I say that all the time, but seriously, go ahead and go sign up and get that ready. In the meantime, me and Johnny are going to get started with our first look for tomorrow's main slate. And first up, we've got Ivan Nova of the Pittsburgh Pirates visiting Steven Strasburg of the Washington Nationals. Total in this game is going to be 7.5, and Washington is a -200 home favorite. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, so I don't really have any interest in Nova here on the Pirates side, but definitely have interest in Steven Strasburg. Let me check his price real quick. He's 10,800, not a bad price for him. He's about $700 cheaper than DeGrom. So definitely like that. He's not overly priced, so we can go there tomorrow. And definitely against Nova, you can stack 1 through 4 easily here. Matt Adams had a monster game today. He just absolutely crushes right-handers. So I like him a lot tomorrow. I like Bryce Harper. My only concern with Bryce Harper, it didn't work out. It worked out today for him, but if he's going to bat first, and they don't really have any protection from him on the backside, so it's tough when he bats his second go round. Wilmer Defoe's looks like his guy that's going to protect him, which is not really a lot of protection. So Harper's, I like him, but I don't know if I can pay his price tomorrow. But everybody else is in play. And Pittsburgh, I'm not really interested in any of these Pittsburgh guys against Strasburg tomorrow, especially if I'm going to pitch him.
Yeah, I think the Nationals seem to have woken up a little bit today. That was a good sign. But Nova's not a guy I like to pick on. Big ground ball guy. He knows what he's doing. He's been around for a while. Strasburg's interesting. He's definitely in play. I wonder if people go there after what Scherzer did, because obviously, like, him and DeGrom are both in, like, not ideal matchups. Teams that don't strike out. Obviously, Atlanta is the more intimidating offense, which we'll talk about later. The Pirates are not nearly as intimidating, so I wonder if he's going to be the guy most people go to. Either way, he's definitely a solid play here. He's just a decent pitcher. And he's pitching at home in a nice little pitcher's ballpark. And I think the National, again, like you said, Johnny, the Nationals erupted today, and it was nice to see. Bryce Harper leading off was great for Defoe. So I think I knew what you meant. You said that Harper was not being protected by Defoe. Well, the guy that protects Harper is the guy behind Harper. So it would have been like...
On the second go round.
Right. But
he's batting ninth.
But the Defoe wouldn't be protecting him. He'd be protecting Defoe. You know what I'm saying? The guy that bats before you is the one who gets protected. So I think what you meant was that Trey Turner or Zimmerman, who was batting second today, that was the person that was protected.
Well, what I meant by protecting was like, so if there's not first base isn't open, they're not going to walk Harper. So like if Defoe gets on base, then they're going to pitch to Harper.
I see. Okay, you're talking from the back end perspective. See, in my eyes, the way I look at it is, Defoe is protected, meaning that with Harper behind him, they were going to pitch to him. They were not going to walk that dude. They were going to throw strikes to that dude, and they did. And Defoe hit a home run today. So that's definitely something that we want to pay attention to in general. When you have one of those dominant hitters like a Bryce Harper, always look at the guy that's in front of him, because pitchers are going to have to pitch to that dude. They're not going to want to. Nobody wants to have a runner on first or a runner on second and Bryce Harper at the plate. That is not what they want. For multiple reasons, like Johnny said, from Johnny's perspective, they can't walk him in that case, and also because you can't walk him, it means you got to pitch to him, and you don't want to pitch to him runners on base. It's just not something teams want to do. But I see what you're saying.
When I'm paying $5,300, I'd rather have the guy strike out than him walk.
Right.
Because like I'm not even getting an opportunity. So right. I like the fact that I like when there's a guy that's hitting well behind, in front of him, because if he's on again, they're not going to be able to walk Harper. They're going to let him swing, and Harper's a great contact guy, especially against right-handers. So he's absolutely crushing right-handers right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. But I'm with you for the most part. Not too interested in the Nats. I know they were red hot. I just don't really like picking on no ball that much. And Strasburg definitely in play. Moving on to the next. It looks like, oh, wow. Check this out. Wade Miley, the lefty, who is now a member of the Milwaukee Brewers, looking like he's going to make his major league debut against Luis Castillo, the struggling young Luis Castillo, who is breaking my heart every start. I really, really like this kid. He has just been so bad this year. Of the Cincinnati Reds, total here is 9, and Cincinnati is a -120 home favorite. Johnny, what are you doing with Wade Miley and Luis Castillo?
Well, I really feel bad for Castillo because he's just had some really bad luck. A lot of it, matchups, ballparks, all those different things have not gone in his favor so far. Wade Miley, oh my God. I didn't think we were going to see him ever again. He's not a gas can, but he's not a good pitcher. The problem that we have here is there's not a lot of guys on the Reds that have been hitting very well, in general. There's a couple guys here that, definitely been hitting well. Like Votto's been hitting pretty well. Guy like Jose Peraza, who's normally not a really good hitter, he's been hitting pretty good. And then you have, Duvall's been kind of hit or miss, and Suarez too, and Schebler, hit a home run, I know, in his first game back. But these guys are just they do strike out a ton. I don't really have interest in either pitcher. Castillo has a lot of talent, but these Brewers have been pretty hot. I mean, they hit a bunch of homers tonight. They can definitely do it again tomorrow. Probably going to pass on both these pitchers. I think both lineups are in play, but I definitely prefer the Brewers side here against Miley. And then again, you can take Votto against Miley. He's kind of a reverse splits guy. You can go there and maybe like a Scott Schebler in GPPs, but Joey Votto is probably still cash viable.
Yeah, it's a situation where, like, when I first look at it, it makes sense if you're going off a recency bias to just attack both pitchers. Obviously, we haven't seen Miley yet this year, but I think I have some interest in Luis Castillo. I know, like I've been pretty good with avoiding him. The only time I played him was the first game where he screwed me. When I saw how bad he was the first game, I kind of okay, something's wrong. We saw his velocity was down. We saw there was a lot of extra things with that. But I did play him last time he played against Milwaukee, and he put up a 22 on DraftKings. So at 5.3, I know Milwaukee's kind of hot, but he's still just too cheap. I'm going to take a chance. We know the Brewers do strike out a lot. I'm going to take a shot. He's obviously not a guy I'm going to go a ton of, and he's not a guy I'm going to throw in cash games. But in tournaments, he's a guy I can get a little exposure of. What do you think, Johnny? Right? Luis Castillo, worth a shot.
Yeah, no, I can see it. Like if I'm looking at the previous numbers here.
It's like the only
guy
team he did good against. It's the only team he ever did.
Yeah, the only guy that has is hit okay against him, but really no home runs have been hit off of him. Like Travis Shaw, like he's batting like 375 against him.
Yeah, he's
like a limited sample size and. Yeah, and then like Arcia of all people, like 4 for 8, but no power. But then so I think you can go there, and I think if you're desperate for a lower end pitcher here, you might want to look at Wade Miley. I mean, the only guy that's really hit him on this team is Bato, as I said, but he hasn't really crushed him. But you can go there too. I think if you want a cheap low owned guy, these offenses here, can get hot, against it's warming up over there in Cincinnati. So maybe we don't want to have a lot of exposure, but I think what I'm going to do for myself in GPPs is I might just go throw a lineup in with each one of these pitchers in.
No, I am. I don't think I have any interest in Miley, but Luis Castillo I'll definitely have a little bit of. Moving on to the next one, we've got Aaron Nola, the Philadelphia Phillies, visiting Jose Urena of the Miami Marlins. Total here is 7.5, and Miami is a plus 140 home underdog. Miami has been the ace killer. That's what they have been this year. The ace, death to all aces. That's Miami's new team motto that I've given them. What do you got, man? Yeah,
I have some interest in Nola. There is a couple guys that are gonna, that can definitely get to him here. He's got if he can get around like Bohr and Dietrich here in this matchup, he'll be fine. I like him here. I think he's got good strikeout upside against his team. It's not for me, I don't think I'm going to go here in cash. But I think you can go here in GPPs. Just what you say about the ace killer. The Marlins have just been hitting really well against all the good pitchers. And there are a couple bats here, even though it isn't a good stadium being in Miami. Really big ballpark, good ballpark. Nola's, he's had his hit or misses again this year, lately especially. I think this is going to be a GPP only for me for Nola. Urena I have no interest in at all. And I definitely have interest in the stack here on Philly. I think you can definitely stack this side against Urena. You could probably... literally 1 through 7 is probably in play. Maybe even 8.
Oh man, I hate Miami so much. They've lost me so much money, and it's my fault. Like it's like I keep on doing it, right? Like I say, like don't take any aces against Miami, but then what happens? The next ace comes around, and you know what, man? This could be it, man. This could be. This is the guy. Their strikeout rate against righties has come up now. In the beginning of the year, it was low. It's back up there. They're like 5th in the league or something like that. The strikeouts to righties. And they just continue to just murk the aces. But then they go out there against Zach Eflin today, and they can't do shit.
And they suck it up.
It's like they hit Thor, they hit DeGrom, but they couldn't hit Wheeler. Wheeler had like 9 Ks. I just don't understand it. They just, it's insane to me. And
I think it is. I think it's the fastball. I think it's the fastball velocity. I think they're hitting the harder fastball better than they're hitting the softer fastball.
Certainly seems that way.
Yeah.
Certainly seems that way, but I think that obviously this time, like what I'm just gonna do is, as long as I can find another pitcher that I prefer, which I think I will, I'm just not gonna play him in cash, and I'll play him a little bit in tournaments. That's all. I'm just not playing any aces against them in cash games. I just can't. I can't. It's too painful. It's too painful. It's just it hurts.
No, and I think there's some good options there too today. So I don't think you have to go there anyways. If you don't want to.
Well, don't get me wrong. I am going to play a little bit of Nola. This is a huge ballpark boost for him, and I believe he is very good. Like I'm going to be honest. See, what killed me about Jake Arrieta is that I don't believe he's very good. That's why I was like kicking myself so hard because he had one good game where his stuff was on against Arizona, a team that strikes out a ton. He couldn't get any strikeouts. Sure, he didn't get beat up. He played a team that struggles on the road, that strikes out a ton. And okay, he didn't get beat up, but he didn't get any strikeouts either. And then I went back to the well against Miami. What was I thinking? This dumb. Anyway, I will have a little bit of Nola, but only in tournaments. That's that's what I'm gonna have to do. And that is just until I see otherwise. Moving on, Johnny, you make a good point, though. It does seem as though they kind of hit the hard throwers better. Sean Newcomb, the lefty of the Atlanta Braves, he was supposed to go today, didn't get a chance. He got pushed back to get an extra day of rest, and they ended up calling up that young kid, that prospect who did really well. He's visiting Jacob deGrom of my New York Mets, and it is going to be a beautiful day tomorrow around here. That is awesome. Anyway, total here is 7. And the New York Mets are at minus 165, home favorite. What are you doing with my boys? What are you doing with Sean Newcomb?
Yeah, like I really don't want to attack the Braves at all here. I think DeGrom is fine; he's a good pitcher, but the Braves have just so much talent here now in this lineup. Ever since they called up Ronald Acuna.
I know that's not how you pronounce it. I don't think that's how you pronounce his name, but I'm going to continue to say it that way because I like it.
Because it looks like that. Yeah.
I like the way that sounds. Acuna. I was a big Acuna Matata guy.
Well, him, and then you got Ozzie Albies at top, and then you got Freeman and Markakis. Like, there's a lot of good hitters in this lineup, and I don't think I want to pay up in my cash games tomorrow for DeGrom. Probably go there in some GPPs, but I don't think I'm going to do it in my cash games. I think I'm going to go to Strasburg tomorrow, just because of the matchup. It's a tough matchup. And on Newcomb, I think he's fine tomorrow for GPPs for me. I definitely prefer Mets left-handers than the righties. There's a couple guys in here that scare me a little bit, and why I won't play Newcomb in cash. But you got Asdrubal Cabrera and Wilmer Flores and Cespedes and Frazier at the top of the lineup here. Definitely give him a lot of trouble tomorrow. So I could definitely do a little Mets mini stack here. I can definitely hedge if DeGrom's going to be really high owned. I'm definitely going to have a Brave stack here just to hedge against it. But that's it for me. Not a lot of interest either. I really don't want to attack, DeGrom with my bats, and I really don't want vice versa. So I think this is going to be more of a stay away for me in general.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to have to take a second look at this game tomorrow. My first look, I have interest in Sean Newcomb. I was going to play him a lot today before he got scratched. The Mets are just one of the worst teams in the league against lefties as far as strikeouts go. They obviously do have a couple of these guys who can hit lefties. Asdrubal can hit them, Flores can hit them, Cespedes can hit them, Frazier can hit them, but they also strike out a ton. So I will have some interest in Newcomb. He did get that extra day of rest, so I expect him to be kind of energized. It's going to be a nice day out here, man. 83 degrees, I'm seeing. I do see some wind blowing out, 12 miles per hour blowing out to, looks like, right center. So we'll see where that is in the morning when we wake up. My first thought is kind of similar to you, Johnny. I like DeGrom. I think I think Syndergaard obviously has nastier stuff and he's more powerful, but I think DeGrom is actually a more consistent pitcher than Syndergaard is. DeGrom is the guy. I think he's more composed, more calm. He's the more durable one. But with that said, I cannot pick on the Braves in cash games. I just can't do it. And DeGrom is the one Met who hasn't really struggled with the Braves. He's the one guy that's got it done. Earlier this season, he went down in Atlanta, struck out 10 of these dudes. I do like DeGrom in tournaments, but I think I'm with you. In cash games, I don't think I could pull the trigger. Not against these Braves. They're just too good of an offense. They have too many good weapons, man. Ozzie Albies is a freak. That dude is awesome. Freddie Freeman is great, obviously, but Freddie Freeman has almost become an afterthought. It's guys are more excited to play Albies and Acuna at this point. It's crazy. I mean, obviously, Freddie Freeman is the man. But, you know what I'm trying to say here. So, I think DeGrom in tournaments is good. I'd be curious to see how many people go there, because I think more people are likely to click Strasburg, maybe even Nola, and there's another guy who we'll talk about in one of the later games. So, in tournaments, I have some interest in DeGrom, but I can't play him too much. I just don't like to pick on these Braves. But I will say he's the one Met that has done decent against the Braves over his career. He's had some pretty big games. And I'm not interested in the Met bats, man. If you're playing a lot of Newcomb, you want to hedge, I get it, but I'm really not interested in the Mets bats. I like both pitchers in this spot. As of right now, obviously because he's cheaper, I kind of like Newcomb more. Moving right along, we got Luis Severino of Paulie D's New York Yankees visiting Dallas Keuchel of the Houston Astros. Total here is 8. Houston a -105. Home favorite. Actually, they're now an underdog. They opened up as a slight favorite, but they're apparently now they're a -105 underdog. What you got here, Johnny?
Yeah, I saw him as a favorite on my pitch, but
they opened up as a
it's
112 favorite, and now it looks like the Yankees are -115 from what I see here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Dallas Keuchel, like I don't think he's very good anymore. I definitely want to stack the Yankees against him tomorrow. I know the Yankees are striking out a lot, but not really afraid of Dallas Keuchel. Severino, like he's kind of expensive tomorrow. I'm not afraid to pitch him. It's going to be more of a GPP play only, just because these Astros bats can definitely get to him. So this is going to be a GPP only play for me for Severino, which I think will be very low owned. A lot of people do not like to play pitchers against Houston, but I think it's worth a shot and at least a GPP or so to try that out. But definitely no interest in Dallas Keuchel. On the Houston Astros side, yeah, as I said, like I'll definitely have a stack of them too. If I'm going to play any lineups with Severino in just in case. But if I do play any Yankees, it would be a Yankee by themselves. It wouldn't be with Severino. It would be some other pitching combination.
Yeah, I do think. Wow, Keuchel's price is crazy. Is that right? Is he really $7K?
Yeah, he's cheap.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He hasn't been he hasn't been very consistent, but that is crazy cheap. Not going to fall for it though. I think he'll be a very popular SP2 for good reason. That price is extremely good, but I think the Yankees they got too many right-handed weapons, man. Like they're a team that
and they've owned him too,
right? Like they've owned him, and there's just like Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, like Tyler Austin. There's just so much power from the right side of the plate. I just don't think I could do it, man. I think Severino is okay. Like I don't love attacking Houston; they don't strike out enough for me. But I do think I respect Severino, so I think he's okay. I don't love it, but I think the real play here for me is the Yankee bats. I think they wake up here. They got shut down 2 games in a row. Verlander did them dirty today. Garrett Cole, or no, was it Garrett Cole? Was it Garrett Cole who faced him the first time? I forgot. But either way, whoever it was.
Yeah, it was Morton last night.
Morton,
the first game.
There you go. It was Morton.
Yeah.
Morton did work. He did awesome for us. And then today, man, Verlander brought the heat. Paulie D warned everybody on the Y stream that Verlander owns the Yankees, and he lived to that reputation. Just destroyed them. Top pitcher on the slate by far. It was just a phenomenal game from Verlander. But I think the Yankees kind of get them back here. I think the Yankees put up some runs. So I am interested in the Yankees stack. Hopefully, more people are playing Keuchel, and so we get the Yankees a little owned here after having terrible games 2 games in a row. Although they did end up winning that game today. So hey. Next game, Johnny, we got Hyunjin Ryu of Patio Joe's Los Angeles Dodgers visiting Zach Godley of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Looks like Godley's actually a really good price too on DraftKings. Total here 7.5. Arizona a -115. Slight home favorite. What you got here, bro?
Yeah, so without Seager in this lineup, it's really really hurting the Dodgers. Going to Arizona tomorrow, it's not the greatest park for them to go to. Zach Godley is really cheap tomorrow at 7,600. There's not a lot of lefties in this lineup I fear anymore. Godley's been really hit or miss this year, though. Like he's he's gone one good lineup, one bad lineup. Last game against the Dodgers, when was it? It was April 15th. He pitched horrible. Dodgers absolutely got to him. Went 5 runs off of him. So he definitely. Without Seager, this lineup's not as strong. Zach Godley pitches better at home as well. I guess at his price, we can go there tomorrow in GPPs, not in cash. But on the Dodgers side, like I do have some interest in the bats here in the lefties here, but I don't really have an interest in the stack. Maybe like a Jock, Grandal, and like Bellinger. Plays like maybe like a mini stack or just sprinkle those guys in your lineups here and there. But I don't want too much exposure to the Dodgers right now. And then I don't really have any interest in Dodgers pitching. I think that Arizona's going to get to him tomorrow. I love AJ Pollock here again tomorrow, and I think Paul Goldschmidt kind of gets out of his little funk and hits 2 home runs tomorrow. So definitely like Arizona tomorrow. A little mini stack is definitely in play. You can go like a Nick Ahmed, who's been on fire, Goldschmidt, Pollock, and Owings. And I think even though Peralta's a lefty, a lot of guys don't like to play lefty. Peralta's fine. He's a good left-handed hitter against lefties as well. So I think you can go like 1 through 5 tomorrow here.
Yeah, I think I think the D-backs are interesting, but I also think that Ryu whatever is also interesting. He's just pitched out of his mind. Not a fan of the stadium, obviously, and Paulie D did point out that some of these Arizona, some of their lineups that they could put out against lefties aren't as strikeout prone as some of the other ones we've seen earlier this year. He did not do well in Arizona earlier this season. He went down there and he stunk it up. I'm talking about Ryu. That was his first start of the year. But since then, he has just been a man on a mission. He's had some phenomenal games. Even against the Giants, wasn't his greatest game, but he still got to 20. Like he still had, and he's only 8-9 here. So I have some interest in him. If I do play him though, like you said, Johnny, I will have a hedge stack. Like if I play Ryu at all, then I'm gonna have some hedge stacks with the D-backs because definitely a scenario where I can see them bombing the dude. And Godley is tempting, man. He's tempting at 7.6. Very, very tempting. What's up with the SP2 prices, dude? Like I'm looking at Keuchel at 7K, Godley at 7.6, and now Dylan Bundy is 7.8. Wasn't Dylan Bundy just like 10K? I know he had a bad game in his last game, but damn, like what the hell is DraftKings doing? It's just confusing me.
Because of the Angels. I think the Angels are a good matchup.
Well,
tough matchup.
I thought the Angels would be a tough matchup too, but they're proving me wrong tonight. They ain't doing shit. Anyway, so I think Godley just because
it's just price. Like the Yankees, dude, right? Like you're either hot or cold, man.
Right. But Godley for his price is interesting. I mean, again, don't like the ballpark, but he is a ground ball guy. The Dodgers lineup without Seager is a little weaker, at least the one they've been putting out lately. But we'll have to see. I think Godley's interesting, but don't love it a ton. Moving on down, now let's talk about Dylan Bundy. Dylan Bundy of the Baltimore Orioles visiting Andrew Heaney, the lefty from the Los Angeles Angels. Total here is 8. The Angels a minus 150 home favorite. What you doing with Bundy and Heaney?
Well, Heaney's going to give it up to these bats here. Heaney's not very good. I definitely have interest in the Baltimore stack. I think it's going to go lone, just looking at the total here. And he's not the most consistent pitcher, so I like the Baltimore stack here tomorrow. Angels, I think I'll sprinkle some of the Angels in my lineups here. I think Bundy's too good of a pitcher, too cheap of a price. I think they can get some runs off Bundy, but they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna blow Bundy up. I don't think he's gonna have a crazy outpour and giving up runs tomorrow. So for me, I'm definitely interested in pitching Bundy and GPPs tomorrow and stacking up the Orioles mostly. I'm going to fade Heaney tomorrow and probably have very limited exposure to the Angels.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on Bundy. I do think that Bundy, especially at his price, like I know it's the Angels, but I mean Bundy's just been. I know he had one bad game, but he's been pretty good. So I'll definitely I could definitely throw me some Bundy. As far as Heaney, man, I've been playing Heaney, man, and he's been doing me good. He's still cheap at 6K. He's got big time K upside. His issue, of course, is when he's left in the game too long, he has a tendency to get blown up. But Baltimore Orioles, man, they got to show me something here. Like, they have not shown me any offense. And now they're in a pitcher's ballpark. They're away from home. Like, I'm going to make them beat me. I think I will be playing Heaney. I actually really like that at 6K. But again, he's the perfect example of a true hedge. Like, this is a guy that, like literally 2 starts ago, I played him against, I want to say it was the Yankees. And he had a ton of Ks, dude. He had like 17 DraftKings points in 4 innings. And then that 5th inning, he came out. By the time he left that game, he had 3 DraftKings points. He just fell apart. So he
gets wild.
Right.
He gets wild. He walks too many guys, and then a bomb comes.
Yeah.
And then they don't have anybody in the bullpen.
He does seem to
get tired. And there goes another bomb.
He does seem to get a little tired. But he does have big K upside. He can go 5 innings and get you 10 Ks. He's got that capability. It's just he can also reverse that real quick in 1 inning and give up 6 runs. That's just the kind of guy he is. The epitome of a tournament player. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I do like Bundy, though, also. At 7-8, I think that's a great price for him. I'm very, very shocked he's that low after one bad game. Last game of the night here, Johnny, we've got Brett Anderson. Wow, haven't seen that guy's name in a while. The Oakland Athletics visiting James Paxton of the Seattle Mariners. Total here is 8, and Seattle is a -180. Home favorite. What you got here, bro?
Yeah, so play James Paxton, stack up Seattle. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, there's really I have no interest in Brett Anderson. No interest in any of these bats against James Paxton. James Paxton is one of my favorite starting pitchers, especially when he's the good James Paxton. So I'm going to have a lot of interest in him tomorrow. He's probably going to, because I don't really see any GBP like big guys I like, or anybody that's a cash game viable SP2 that I really like. And he's pretty cheap tomorrow. He's in the $8,000 range, so I'm probably going to use him as my SP2 in cash tomorrow. And I think all these bats here are in play tomorrow on the Mariners side against Anderson.
Yeah, I definitely think I have interest in the Seattle bats as well against Anderson. No problem. Let's do it. They got Zunino in there, Haniger, Cruz. There's too many lefty masters on that team, even Healy. I do like Seattle a lot. Paxton I like, man. I'm with you. He's one of my favorite guys to play in DFS. He's coming off a great game. He wasn't even on a main slate. It was a shame. But he had a great game against Cleveland. I think he had like 10 strikeouts or something like that. But I did check his history last year against Oakland, and he played them 3 times, and he had 1 good game out of those 3. The other 2 times he played him, he got tagged up. So I think Paxton is fine. And like ironically, the good game he had was the only game where he pitched at home. So I think there might be something to that. So I do like Paxton, but I may have, if I play a lot of Paxton, I may play some A's hedge stacks because they have been hitting lefties really well this year. Obviously, they have a ton of strikeout upside, but they do have a lot of guys who can hit lefties, and they have been hitting a lot better against lefties this year. We saw them at, I think they hit Sale. They hit pretty much all Boston's lefties. They gave them a pretty good ride. So I have some interest. I mean, we've seen Paxton get blown up already, or at least have a couple bad games already this year. But I'm with you for the most part. I do like Paxton. I'm gonna pitch him some, but I may hedge with some Athletics just because of the history there and how the Oakland has been against lefties. But yeah, Paxton at AK, dude's got mega upside. I do like him. All right, that's gonna do it for the game by game breakdown. At this point, I'm going to let you know that if you haven't already checked us out at wisestake.com, I do not know what you are waiting for. Come rock with us. Johnny was just explaining to me before the show that this is a phenomenal day for a day pass. Wednesday is perfect. You get 2 slates for the price of one, $2.50, and you get a full day's worth of content for MLB DFS. That means you get Johnny the Greek's 2 cash game articles. That's right. 1 for the early slate, 1 for the main slate. You get GPP article, 1 for the early slate, 1 for the main slate. You get a cheat sheet. You get the Wise stream for the main slate. You get so many different things. You have the chat. The chat's running 24/7. You can hop in that bitch right now and go talk some shit and strategize on how to take over the world tomorrow. But there's no excuse to not check us out, guys. Seriously, we're a DFS community. If you're interested, if you like what we do on these shows, you're going to love what we do behind the paywall over at wisestake.com. So come ride with us. Join the Wisestake Nation. Don't waste no time. $2.50 gets you in the door. That's it. $2.50 for a full day. You get full MLB access. Come see what we're all about. We got other sports we offer as well. There's no MMA this week. We do have NASCAR this Sunday. Check out, we have a NASCAR package. And we have golf. The Golf Wise stream is going to actually be right after this show ends. For our premium golf subscribers for Cash and DFS and Paulie D. So come check us out. Come rock with us. Come see what we are made of. And I think once you try that day pass, it's like the little free crack rock. I think after that, you will be hooked. And you will see why so many people love the Wise Take Nation. With that said, Johnny, let's do some top 3s, my man. We're going to do top 3 pitchers, top 3 stacks, and then we're going to play some Dong Watch. Start us off with the top 3 pitchers.
Yeah, let's go back there. Okay, so yeah, for me, top pitcher, I'm going to go with Strasburg tomorrow, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to go with Paxton. And then number 3, I'm going to go with Zach Godley tomorrow.
Okay.
And then Bundy's close, but I'm between those 2 guys, Bundy and Godley.
I like those calls. I do. I'm going to get a little bit off the board. I'm going to go with Sean Newcomb against my Mets. I'm going to go with... I'll go with Sean Newcomb. I'll go with Luis Castillo as a cheap option. And then I guess I'll go with Strasburg. I want to say DeGrom, but the Braves scare me. It's going to be warm and the wind's blowing out. So for now, on my first look, I'll settle for Strasburg. You know what? No. Yeah, I'll settle for Strasburg. That's what I'll do. I'll settle for Strasburg. I know, I'm indecisive the night before. Forgive me. Johnny, top 3 stacks, my man. What do you got?
Oh, top 3 stacks.
Top 3 steezies.
I'm going to go with Seattle. We'll go with Seattle. Looking for something really off the board here.
Really off that board.
That's not. All right, we're gonna go Baltimore. I think they got out of their funk tomorrow, and Arizona. I'm gonna take those stacks. I don't think they'll be highly owned.
All right, I will go with. I'm gonna go with the Reds. I'm gonna go with Seattle as well, and then I'm gonna go with the New York Yankees. Man, I think maybe they get a Keuchel. Let's play some Dog Watch, Johnny. Infielder, outfielder, utility. You're up first. Who's your first pick?
Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt's going to hit a home run, at least one tomorrow.
Boom. Goldilocks. I will go with my boy, Mike Zunino, the Seattle Mariners.
And then we'll follow that up with a mini stack with A.J. Pollock.
Okay.
He said he's going to hit 1 or 2 tomorrow, so we'll go there.
Okay. Let me see. I will go with... I'm going to go with Aaron Judge.
And the rest of the team is his jury, right? I don't know. They sent him after he hits the home run. All right, I'm going to go... No, can't do that. Never mind. I'm going to go with... no, can't. He's an outfielder. Sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
I need a third baseman here, right? Man, third baseman.
Ooh.
A third baseman's a tough one.
I may have made a mistake, man. I may have to change my mind on that Keuchel Severino situation, dude. I'm just looking at the history, and Severino has never had a good game against the Astros. Never. He has never had a good game. Ever. He's played them a good amount of times, and he's just... I mean, I wonder... I'm assuming that some of that might have been... Let me see real quick.
My concern with Severino is that he's just coming off the DL, you know, and I normally don't pitch guys.
Okay, so last year, right? He played Houston on May 14th. He gave up 3 earned runs. He only went 2 1/3. Maybe he was hurt that day. But yeah, I'm looking at him, man. He's never really done well against them. Like, there was one game where he had 7 Ks, but he gave up 6 earned runs. And then it looks like in October, you know, which is playoff time. Like, yeah, he's never really had a great game against him. That's interesting. Meanwhile,
how many of those games?
Meanwhile, Dallas Keuchel, who we're sitting here bashing at his cheap price, has only had 1 game that wasn't great against the Yankees in his career. So in his career, he's played them 5 times, and that was like, it looks like it was in the playoffs that he had 1 game where he didn't do well. But he's actually like, he had 2 games last year, 1 in the playoffs, 1 in the regular season where he dominated them. He's 7K. I'm gonna have to rethink this. I'm gonna think about this one tomorrow. By the time we get to the main slate, man, I'm gonna have to do some research. I mean, obviously we do these shows their first look, so we're kind of just going off top of the dome. But like, I couldn't help myself. I had to take a look, and like, that's interesting. We may have to dig on that tomorrow, Johnny. We may have to do that.
Yeah, I wasn't on Severino either way.
No, I wasn't on Severino, but like, I may have to go in on the Astros bats. That's my point.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have an Astros stack tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, and like and Keuchel, man, like I wanted to play the Yankees, but that's interesting. I'm telling you, that's really, really interesting with Keuchel, and he's only 7K.
No, for sure.
Anyway, back to Dong Watch. Who are we gonna pick?
So it's this third baseman I'm looking for still, right? Man, that's a bad position tomorrow. Let's see. No. Okay, I'm just gonna say Kyle Seager.
Kyle Seager.
Yeah, I really like. Okay.
I'm gonna take somebody from these Reds. I think against Miley. I'm gonna go with. I'll take Jose Peraza to hit a home run. He's been doing well hitting in front of Votto over there.
He has.
Okay, I think that's gonna do it for the Wise Take DFS
and a bonus.
podcast.
I got a bonus home run tomorrow at catcher, and this is a BVP special for you, Matt Wieters.
Matt Wieters, BVP special. There you go. You heard it from Johnny. There you go. He's just made freak calls all season. He's had some freak home runs. So I'm not going to say a word because I'm just going to accept it. It's because Chance Cisco, Pablo Sandoval, just going to accept it. When the freak does freak things. What can I tell you? I'm going to say. Anyway, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. Really helps us out. It allows us to keep doing these videos for you guys. If you are watching us on Facebook, please like and share to support the Wise Take Nation. If you're listening on Podbean or iTunes, give us some 5-star reviews. Help bump us up those charts. If you're watching on Twitch or you're watching on Twitter, please give us a follow and obviously retweet. Spread the word. The Wise Take Nation is here. We're going to keep trying to do these free shows for you guys. All we need is a little bit of support back. That's all we're asking for. A little bit of support back. Tell your friends about it. Spread the word. Let them know we're here. Let them know you love us. Let them know we're doing our thing. We're some cool-ass cats, as you would say. Aside from that, for Johnny the Greek, for myself, the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck.
Ship it.